Okay, today we're going to learn how to teach our horse to stand still. We really want him to stand still for a couple reasons. One main one for me is I like to be able to climb on my horse without him moving around, dragging me all over the barnyard. And I also like to be able to talk to my friends or have conversations with people as long as he's not dragging me all over the place as well. I mean, I surely don't want to be dragged over to the nearest patch of grass while I'm trying to talk to someone. So I'm going to ask him to stand still. And the way I'm going to teach him to want to stand still is I'm going to use his movements against him. He weighs about 1,200 pounds. I can't hold him and say, stop, hold still. So what I got to do is use the movement that he's already doing in a controlled manner to get him to want to stand still. So I'm going to use going forward, moving his hips over, and backing up to make him want to stand still. I'm going to put those 3 steps into one routine that I'll repeat 3 times every time he moves and give him a chance to stand still. So I've got a bridle with the Snapple bit on, continuous rope rein, so I don't have to worry about the loose split rein. And then I also have a dressage whip here, which I'm going to use to put pressure on his hip and drive him forward for the go forward part. So here I'm going to say go forward. Okay, once he's going forward, I release the pressure. And I want to make sure that when he goes forward, I go forward. All right? I don't want to be backing up like this. When I back up like this is going to teach him to come into my space or crowd me. I don't want to do that. So I want to make sure that he goes forward when I ask him to, and he stays on his own space, not in mine. Then when I ask him to move his hip over, I'm going to pick up the left rein just as if I were sitting in the saddle up to where my hip would be and say, move your hip over, until he crosses over behind and pivots on the front left foot. Okay? So it looks like this again. Move your hip over and back up. Want him back up now. Now, asking him to back up is a separate cue. So once his hip moves over, I'm going to release the cue that I used to get him to move his hip over, and then I'm going to just pick up the rein again as if I were sitting in the saddle right up towards where my belly would be, okay, to ask him to back up. And I only want him to back up a couple steps, not too much. 1, 2, just like that. All right, and then when he stands still, I want to rub him, tell him he did a good job. Now if he moved, just like he did here, which I expected him to, I can ask him to move his hip over, back up, go forward, move his hip over, back up, and go forward, move his hip over, back up, and stand still. All right, so I want to give him a chance to stand still. If he doesn't want to stand still, then I would do the same thing all over again. All right, but since he's standing here nice and quietly, I'm going to rub him, pet him, tell him he did a good job. Now, he's going to do great in the arena, but when that piece of grass is right there or your friend is there, there's some sort of distraction, he might start moving again. That's okay. Consider it a training opportunity. That's when you want to work with your horse. But you have to be consistent. You can't just go ahead and do it sometimes and not do it other times, because he's a gambler. If he gets away with it 50% of the time, he'll do it all the time. So every time he moves, do that little routine, okay? For more information on my clinics in your area or to find out more about what we talked about today, visit my website at www.raylochert.com, and we'll see you next time right here on horsecity.com TV.